welcome back to my kitchen. If this is your first time drifting by, I'm Cassie, and welcome. I hope there's something you like that encourages you to subscribe. Alright, so I hope everybody's having a wonderful week, as I am. Today I'm going to bake a cake that I haven't baked in a while, but I'm sure it's going to be epic. So today I'm going to bake your day my way. So I've already somewhat pre-measured some of it. This recipe calls for 3 cups of sugar, which I've added to the blender, and I'm going to need a cup and a half of butter, which is 3 sticks at room temperature, which I'm going to add to the blender. And I left this out for a while, so this is really at room temperature for sure. And once I get the butter added to my mixing bowl, I am going to blend this and cream the butter and sugar together. And I want to cream it until it is fluffy, kind of like ice cream. And it usually takes about 4 to 5 minutes, as I said in previous videos. But we add a little more butter, because in this one I have another half a cup, so I may have to blend it a little longer, but we'll see. So I'm going to, I guess it'll help if I plug up the blender. I'm going to plug it in here, place it on stir. That's just to get the sugar and the butter well incorporated together. And then I'm going to mix it and cream it. And I can increase the speed here. If you've ever baked the 7-Up cake, you know this cake has to be exact. Or you can make one error, and then that's going to cause your cake to flop or to deploy when you have it in the oven. So this one you have to be very precise with your measurements and with the ingredients that are incorporated into it. Because with this cake, we're not using baking powder or baking soda as the leavening ingredient. We're using the 7-Up or any citrus soda, Sprite, Sierra Mist, and if you have a generic one, it will work as well, right? So now I'm going to simply release the butter and sugar from the sides of our mixing bowl and also from the bottom. And as usual, I just scrape down the sides and then I fold everything over. And this is just making sure that everything gets incorporated together and that I get a good cream on my sugar and butter. So that's what I'm doing. Of course, this is no cake is a cake, or no bake is a bake where you can just throw it in the mixing bowl and it comes out. There's an art to everything that we do. Okay, that's the oven telling me that my temperature is right. And I will be baking it at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour and 10 minutes. Again, oven temperatures vary, so make sure you check your cake after an hour to see if it's ready or if you need to bake it 10 more minutes. And then you check it in 5-minute increments. And checking it with a kebab stick, a fork if you use a fork, or a toothpick, and making sure that whatever you use, it comes out clean. Right? I'm going to ramp my speed up here just a little. While this is creaming, I'm going to go ahead and, well, I was going to, but now I have to wash it. I'm going to go ahead and zest my lemon. Now this part is optional. If you don't have a lemon, you can can always zest a lime. You can zest an orange, either one. I'm going to do a lemon. And the lemon zest is going to give it a really nice kick. This is a very nice cake to bake like for the summer months, spring, summer, because it's citrusy. The lemon zest, orange zest, or the lime zest just simply gives it a very nice kick. So my butter and my sugar are creamed, as you can see, very fluffy. So now I'm going to add my eggs one at a time, and you have to have 5 eggs. And I'm just going to place my blender on stir just so it can break the yolk. I'm not going to blend it too hard at this point. I just want to get it in, everything incorporated. So with the eggs, once the yolk is broke, you can add the second one. Third, and I am checking these before I allow it to drop in. This is my 4th one. And that's the 5th one. I'm going to increase the speed on my blender just so that making sure my eggs are all incorporated. And then I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. So now I'm going to take my spatula here and I'm going to just scrape down everything from the side of the bowl, because again I want to make sure that the eggs get mixed in very well. I want it all incorporated. I don't want anything settling out. And again, I fold everything on top, a couple of times. Just kind of fold it over. Just giving it a good release from my mixing bowl. Just making sure. And you guys have followed along enough to you know the routine. It's amazing how you use similar ingredients and you can get a different bake every time just by changing up one ingredient. Alright, so I'm going to turn my blender back on, allow it to continue to mix. So now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 teaspoon of lemon extract. Optional. You can do 1 lemon, 1 vanilla, or you can do 2 vanilla, or you can do 2 lemon, whatever you like. So that's the vanilla. And I am using the clear vanilla instead of the regular baking vanilla. I'll add my lemon. And this is pure lemon. And now I'm going to add my zest from 1 lemon. And again, this just adds a very nice kick to it. And this is optional. And if you don't have a lemon, as I stated, you can add lime zest. You can add the zest of an orange. You know, you can all, because it's citrus. And this 7-Up is like a lemon lime soda. So I'm going to just scrape this off. So now I'm going to stir my lemon zest in. So now I'm ready to add my flour and my 7-Up, and I'm going to alternate between the two. First starting with the flour, adding it 1 cup at a time, and then the 7-Up 1 cup. So the eggs are allowed to come to room temperature. The butter is allowed to come to room temperature. You cream your butter and your sugar until it's white and fluffy. It has the appearance of ice cream. Then you add your eggs 1 at a time, a total of 5. Then you add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of lemon, or you can do 2 teaspoons of lemon or 2 teaspoons of vanilla, whichever you prefer. If you have a different extract that you would like to add, you may add that as well. Optional to add the zest of a lemon, lime, or an orange. That's a preference. Then you want to use your flour. Some people use cake flour. That's fine. I'm using White Lily all-purpose flour. I've already measured 3 cups of flour in my bowl. You don't have to use baking powder or baking soda as a leavening because you're going to use the 7-Up. This is a carbonated drink. This is my leavening ingredient for the cake. Right, and then you want 1 cup of the 7-Up, and you're going to allow the 7-Up to also come to room temperature. Okay, so then we're going to scoop up the flour and place it in the mixing bowl. So that's 1 cup of flour, and I'm just put it on stir. I don't want a flour bath. I'm just going to let it get incorporated. Then I'll ramp the speed up. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is add half a cup of 7-Up. You need a whole cup for the cake. I'm just going to start by putting half in. I'm going to add another cup of flour, and again, I'm not going to beat it right now. I'm just getting it all mixed and well incorporated together. And once I get all my flour and my 7-Up in, then I'm going to beat the cake. I'm going to add the remaining 7-Up. And now I'm gonna add the last cup of flour. So you start with flour and you end with flour. There's a little left in the bowl, so I'll just transfer it to my mixing cup or my measuring cup, and I'll add it. Flour, 7-Up, half a cup of 7-Up, another cup of flour, half a cup of 7-Up, last cup of flour. So at this point, I'm going to scrape the sides of my mixing bowl down again, because as you know, the flour is going to stick to the sides, not going to get mixed well. And I'm also going to fold it in from the bottom to the top, as usual, just making sure everything gets mixed and well incorporated together. Everything's blended. Alright, so now I'm going to turn the blender on and I'm going to beat this cake, allow it to blend or mix or beat in this mixing bowl until it's well incorporated. Okay, I'm going to make sure that it's all in harmony. So I'm going to ramp the speed up. Up some of my mess while it's mixing. I'm also going to go ahead and prepare my baking pan. I am using the Nordic ware. I'm going to coat it with, I'm going to coat it with the food release. This is one of my favorite ones. I usually find this at Ollie's. But if you don't have it, Pam is really good, especially the one with the flour. I've used it before. You've seen it on a bake. Remember to spray the sides of the pan very well, the bottom of the pan very well, the corners, those little creases. Make sure you get the flute, even the top of your pan. Okay. You want to get a really good coating on the pan. I'm also going to sprinkle some sugar around the sides of the pan and also on the bottom, because you know that's my secret, and that's the tip to make sure that the cake gets a really nice crunch coat to it, and it also is easy to release. There's a place on this flute that doesn't seem like it got coated very well, so I'm going to spray it one more time. Right? And then I'm going to add, you don't have to add a lot of sugar. You just sprinkle it along the sides, along the flute, along the bottom. Just make sure your cake's going to come out, spring out of the pan. I don't know why my baking spray doesn't want to stand up tonight. So I think the cake is mixed well. Again, this is not a cake that you want to play around with. This one is one that you want to make sure everything you do is correct. Because as I stated, you're not using baking powder and baking soda in your all-purpose flour, nor if you were using cake flour would you be using it, because you're using the carbonated soda, the 7-Up, that is your leavening ingredient. Right. So I have all of the dough removed from the mixer into the bowl. And what I'm doing is getting my zest. You know, your lemon zest kind of clings to this, and you can see it. So you get as much as you can. All right. So now I'm going to release it. And because I know the zest was clinging to it, I'm going to give it a really good whirl with my spatula. A really good mix. I don't want zest all in one spot. I kind of want it evenly distributed throughout the cake. All right. And it looks really, really good. And it smells good. Very citrusy, very summer. All right, so now I'm going to add it to my baking pan. And you guys know I just allow it to free flow, and when it stops, I just scrape down the sides with the spatula and then release it into the baking pan. All right. Okay, we got everything mixed in. Right. Okay, I'm going to smooth the top of it down, but I'm still going to tap it. Okay. So as usual, I'm going to swirl it around in the pan. Just make sure it's evenly distributed, and I'm going to tap it 10 times to release any air bubbles that are found in this cake. And you know you're using 7-Up, which is soda. This is carbonated water, so you know you could possibly have some air bubbles trapped in the cake. A lot of air bubbles. You will see them quickly rise to the top. Looks good. All right, then you want to allow the cake to sit in the baking pan for 3 minutes, right? So I'll place you on a brief pause while I allow the cake to rest in the baking pan, and when it's time to place it in the oven, I will be right back with you. Okay, everyone, it's time to place the cake in the oven. The 3-minute rest is over. And that's another thing you do to allow the air bubbles to surface if they are present, is that you just let it rest in the baking pan for this cake. All right, so we're going to slide it in. Again, you put it in the center of the oven, which is the hottest part. And if your cake isn't sitting flush, make sure that it's flush. Okay? So now I'm going to bake the cake for 1 hour and 10 minutes at 325 degrees Fahrenheit. At 1 hour, I am going to, I guess I should take the cell phone out of the pocket so it doesn't twist it. At 1 hour, I'm going to check the cake and see if it is done. And if it is, I will remove it and I'll pick you back up. If not, then I will place it back in for 5 minutes and I'll check it. And then if it's still not done, I'll put it in for another 5 minutes. So the maximum bake time for this cake from oven to oven is 1 hour and 10 minutes. All temperatures vary based on the oven that you have, so make sure you check it. Okay, don't just pop it in for 1 hour and 10 minutes, pull it out, and then it's overcooked, it's tough, it's dry, and you feel that's an epic failure. Okay, so I will put you guys on a brief pause. I'm going to continue to wash the dishes that I have in the sink, and when it's time to visit the cake to see the success of this epic bake, I will pick you back up. So hang tight. Okay, everyone, the cake is baking. I just checked it. It's about halfway through. I am going to, I've already prepared the glaze for it, and I forgot to hit the record. But with the glaze, it's, I use 1 cup of the powdered sugar, confectioner sugar. And if you don't have any, no problem. Take a cup of white granulated sugar, place it in your blender, your chopper, you know, your food processor. You have powdered sugar. Okay, so then to that I added, it's optional. You can add 2 tablespoons of 7-Up to the glaze, confectionate sugar, powdered sugar. You can add 1 tablespoon of 7-Up, and you can add your extract if you would like. But what I did was I added 1 tablespoon of 7-Up. I added a teaspoon of lemon juice from a freshly squeezed lemon. I added 1 teaspoon of lime juice from a freshly squeezed lime, and 1 teaspoon of orange juice from a freshly squeezed orange. All right, so all of those are incorporated in with the 7-Up and the confectionate sugar, and you get it as thin as you would like or as thick as you would like. If it seems like it's too thin, add a little bit more confectionate sugar, 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon at a time. If it seems like it's too thick, add a little more of your 7-Up, or if you use milk, you can use milk as well to do it, or if you use one of the juices, whichever you prefer, you can add a little bit more to it, 1 teaspoon at a time until you get it as thin as you would like. Okay, so that's the consistency that I would like. I want it to somewhat cling to the cake. I don't want it to run off. Okay, so I already have the glaze prepared, so I'm just going to set this aside and just simply place a cover over it, and I'm going to wait on the cake to bake. So I'll place you on a pause again, and when it's ready to remove from the oven, I will be right back with you. Okay, everyone, it's actually been 1 hour and 10 minutes. I did check it after 1 hour, I checked it after 5 minutes, and I'm checking it after the 10 minutes. Okay. I'm going to just stick a kebab stick in it. It comes out clean. It comes out clean. It comes out clean. It comes out clean. All right. When I get closer to the, it comes out clean. All right. So the cake is ready. I'm going to place it on the rack and allow it to cool. Then I'm going to transfer it from the baking pan to the cake plate. And then I will place the citrus glaze that I prepared on it. All right. So I can turn my oven off. So I will allow it to cool for roughly about 10 minutes, and then I will pick you back up, transfer it to the cake plate, and we'll be ready to put the glaze on. Okay, everyone, I've removed the cake from the oven. It has cooled, as you see. I do have my glaze ready, so I'm just going to place the glaze on the cake, and there's no special way You just drizzle it on. And I put it on the ends and just let it run down the sides. And I will say this cake is very light and very, very fluffy. It seems very moist. And again, this glaze is made from confectionate sugar, or powdered sugar as you call it. 1 tablespoon of 7-Up, a half a teaspoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice, a half a teaspoon of freshly squeezed lime juice, and a half a teaspoon of freshly squeezed orange juice. So I'm giving it a citrus, very, very citrus glaze on the cake. It's very, very moist. As you can see, it's very, very fluffy. Okay, so now as they say, moment of truth. I'm going to slice the cake. It's very, very, very moist. It's so soft and fluffy. I don't even know if this whole slice will come out. It just falls apart. Which means it's going to be ooey good, ooey gooey good. So this is what the cake looks like. As you can see, it's very, 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 very moist. It just bounces back. It's kind of like a angel food cake. So now, moment of truth, we're going to, let me get some of this icing right here on the side. We're going to try it. Very good. I can taste the lemon, the orange, and the lime and the icing. This is definitely a cake that you want to make during the spring and summer months. As you can see, it's very, very light, very fluffy, and you can't really see how moist it is, but it's really, very, really moist. I haven't baked this cake in a while, but this is one of those cakes that'll make you keep coming back for more. Right. So, thank you for joining me on this epic bake, for allowing me to bake your day my way. Okay. If you are a subscriber, thanks for subscribing. If you drifted by and something caught your attention, I hope you like it and that you'll consider subscribing. Please leave a positive comment in the comment section below. I will greatly respond. If you click the notification bell, as soon as I upload a new video, whether it's a cook, bake, or prep, you'll be the first notified. If you have someone who's learning how to cook, please share some of my recipes with them. Never hurts. If you have a recipe that you would like for me to try, please email it to Cassie'sKitchenCreations@gmail.com. If there's something that you would like to see me bake, please send an email to Cassie'sKitchenCreation.com, or you can just leave a comment below, and I'll tackle it for you. I will place the recipe for this cake in the description if you would like to bake it, and tell me your thoughts. And you can also respond, take a picture of it and send it, and then place it in the comments. If you send me a picture, I'll place it on our community page for my Cassie's Kitchen Creations page. I'll place it on my community page. All right. So thanks again for joining me in this epic bake. Again, I greatly appreciate you allowing me to bake your day my way. You guys have a great end to your week. Have an awesome weekend. And I will see you on the next bake, the next prep, or possibly the next cook. Have a great one.